everybody, today we are making some dollar store Thanksgiving projects using our Cricut. I am going to walk you through exactly how to make these projects, whether you are a beginner or maybe you don't even have a Cricut yet, but you want to get started crafting this fall. Stick around, I've got some really cute and easy beginner Cricut projects coming right up. Hey everybody, I am Sarah. You are watching Creative Ramblings, where I share simple, inspiring projects. Here you'll find everything from simple crafts to seasonal home decor and full tutorial videos walking you through how to create these projects for your own home. If that sounds like something you like to watch, consider subscribing so you don't miss my next video. Today's video is all about Cricut. I am going to show you how to use this machine right here and some dollar store blanks to start crafting for Thanksgiving. Now, I want you to know that these are simple beginner projects. So if you've never used a Cricut before, or maybe you have one and it's still in the box, I'm gonna show you how to get started with it so you can jump in and craft for every holiday and season that's coming up. So let me show you what we're making today. We are using some pretty common dollar store blanks and embellishing them with vinyl today. This is a glass cutting board that you can find at Dollar Tree, and I've added some vinyl to it, but I've added it in a way that this is still really useful and is gonna hold up on your Thanksgiving table. I'm also gonna show you how to take really inexpensive dollar store containers and turn them into the cutest little leftover containers for your guests. Now, these projects can also be used to put together maybe some cookies or treats for your friends and family that you can't see this year. Why not wrap up a nice care package in some embellished containers that they can have at home and enjoy and think of you when they're enjoying those treats. So let's jump into this project. I'm gonna show you what you need to get started. So these are the supplies we're gonna be using for this project. I went to my local Dollar Tree and I picked up these couple of things. These are glass cutting boards. I actually really like using these as trivets. So you can put these on the table and put maybe a pie on top of it or a hot pot or a casserole. We're gonna embellish that. And then there's a variety of just clear food containers that you can find at a Dollar Tree. They happen to be orange this season, which fits in really well for Thanksgiving. So I've got a couple of different sizes and we're gonna embellish the outside here. We're also going to use a Cricut Explore Air 2. Now, this machine is a workhorse and it kind of does a lot of the work for you. You don't have to do too much. So I'm going to walk you through how to use this machine. A couple of Cricut accessories we're going to need are a cutting mat here. That's this green thing down here. This is a trimmer. This is going to help us trim our vinyl down to size. We're also going to use a weeding tool and a scissors. And this is a scraper tool. Now you can get all of these tools, you can get a whole bundle that kind of comes together with your Cricut. All of these products I'm talking about here can be found in the description of this video if you want to go shopping. You might also need a pliers on hand as well. Now as for the vinyl that we're using, we're going to use black vinyl and holographic gold vinyl. Now vinyl is permanent, it comes in every color imaginable, even patterns, and we are going to use this to embellish both of our Dollar Tree items here. You're also going to need a roll of transfer tape, and I'm going to show you how to use this. This helps you get the vinyl design that you've created over to your piece without it sticking to your fingers. So again, this is a simple project, this is a beginner project. I'm going to show you how to use all of these tools. So the first thing we're gonna do is open up our desktop Cricut application called Design Space, and we're gonna create our graphics. All right, so in Design Space, you are gonna click on New Project, and you will have a blank canvas that comes up. And we're gonna go to the Image tab and just use some pre-designed graphics. A lot of these are available with a Cricut Access subscription, which means you can use these for anything. So I'm going to grab this "'Tis the Season to Be Thankful" graphic here and then click Insert Images. Once it's on my canvas, I can just size it to the size that I need, something that's going to fit that round trivet. Now for those other containers, I'm going to use the text function and type "thankful" for leftovers. And these are going to be in different fonts. So I'm going to start with "thankful" here, and it's going to pop up on my screen, and then I'm going to go choose a font for that. And a font I really like for this is called Bickley Script. This is also one that I use for, that comes with Design Space. And then for the leftovers part, I'm going to use a font called Brewery #2. There are a ton of fonts available, or you can use your own fonts, but play with it, figure out what you like best, and then go ahead and change it up. Now, the thankful here, the letters are kind of spaced apart. I can go adjust that spacing so that they all come together and it looks more like a script or a handwriting. There's also an advanced tool here where I can separate the letters and then just use the arrow keys on my keyboard to move them around and really place them exactly where I want them. Now, once everything is together, I'm going to place the two pieces of text where I want them, highlight everything, and then go down and hit attach. This connects them so that when I cut, everything cuts together. So up here where it says size, I'm going to hit that little unlock button, and then I'm going to adjust the width and the height separately. So I know that I need it to be about 4.5 by 1.5 to fit on that container properly. Once I have the size fit, I'm going to go over on the right, and there's these little eyes next to each piece. So I have the 'Tis the Season graphic, and then I have the Thankful for Leftovers graphic. I am going to click on the eye that's associated with the text, so I'm just left with my 'Tis the Season to be Thankful graphic. That means we can just start cutting that. Then I'm going to go up and I'm going to click Make It. Now in this screen here, I have the option to mirror my text. So I want to click on both the black and the gold and make sure that I have the mirror button checked. This is going to cut it appropriately with my machine. We're going to load the black vinyl first and then the holographic gold. Now I hit continue and the machine just kind of walks me through exactly what I need to do. So I'm going to go from here over to my Cricut and my vinyl. I've got a big old roll of black vinyl here. I'm going to cut it down to size. I only need about a 7 by 7 inch square, so I'm going to use this paper trimmer from Cricut to cut my vinyl down to the size that I need. Now to cut vinyl, you're going to use this green mat. It is sticky on one side, so I'm just going to place the vinyl in the top left corner and stick it down really good. Now I'm going to open up my machine and I'm going to adjust this dial over on the right to vinyl. There's also these two buttons down here. When they flash, you just push them and the machine cuts. So I load my material in. I've done what I needed to do on Design Space on my computer. That button is flashing. That is going to load my mat and material in. And when the little Cricut button flashes, I push that and it starts cutting. Now the best way to get vinyl off a mat is actually to flip it over like this. It helps your vinyl, prevents your vinyl from curling. Now I'm going to repeat the process with this holographic vinyl. Over in Design Space, it'll tell me when my cut is done and it'll tell me when to move on to the next design. Now that I've finished with this design, I can go back into Design Space, use those little eyes in the corner, turn off the 'Tis the Season graphic and turn on the Thankful for Leftovers graphic, and just repeat this process again. The only difference is that we are not mirrored this time. We want to make sure we just cut the vinyl as is. All right, so we are going to start with the larger vinyl pieces that we cut. This is the 'Tis the Season piece, and this is going to go on the glass cutting board or that trivet that we're making. So let's start with the black one here. Weeding vinyl is sometimes the hard part. What weeding means is that we're just going to pull off the pieces of vinyl that we don't want to use. So most of this I should be able to do with my fingers. I'm just going to start at one corner and pull it up. And go slowly, but you're going to just pull, and the letters and the words that we cut are gonna stick, and I'm gonna pull off the excess here. Now I say go slowly because we don't wanna accidentally pull up something that I want to use. So slow and steady here. So at this point, this is where some of our tools come in handy. So this is just a weeding tool, and it's gonna help us pull out some of the middles of these letters. And so we just pull them all out until we are left with just the words. So again, weeding can be kind of a chore, but I promise you this is probably the most difficult part of this project. The rest is all pretty simple. So we're gonna get this one all weeded. And now we're gonna do the same process for this holographic vinyl. Now this is layered pieces. So on this vinyl, there's just a few cuts in the corners, but I'm gonna leave it all together as it is. And you'll see the importance of that once we get to the step where we're applying this to the trivet. And there we go. Now we're ready to transfer this to our trivet. So the next thing we're going to need, in addition to our trivet, is what's called transfer tape. Transfer tape is going to pick up this image and put it on here. So I don't have to peel it off with my fingers and stick it on here. Really nice piece. So we're gonna start with the black words here. And I'm just gonna start to pull up the transfer tape in a corner. And I'm going to apply it at the top. And I'm going to use this scraper tool here to kind of push it down all the way. Now I want to make sure that the vinyl goes from the backing to this transfer tape. So I'm just going to push really good with my scraper tool and make sure that it adheres really well. Once you've done this part a few times, it is pretty easy to replicate it, and you will be vinyling everything. We're gonna pick it up and do the same thing on the back just to make sure we have a really good fit. Okay, so I've got that on. I'm gonna flip it over and I'm just gonna pull the backing off here. And that vinyl is going to stick to the transfer tape. It's a beautiful, easy process. All right, now it's time to stick it on here. So when I flip this over, there's these little clear feet that are on here. This is where your pliers might come in handy. We might need to remove some of those feet just to stick this on appropriately. So I'm gonna lay this down with the back side up, and when I put this in place, the words are gonna actually be reversed. So that's what we want. So let's see. I'm gonna try to stick it around the feet and try to center it here. But it looks like I'm going to need to remove just this foot right here. And these come off pretty easily, and we can stick them right back on when we're done. All right. Line that up. And then I'm gonna grab my scissors again, and I'm just gonna cut around these other feet, cut out that transfer tape, so that I can get a nice flat, everything can stick and there's no bumps. Okay, so it's on there really good. I'm gonna take that scraper tool again and really push it, because now I want the vinyl to come off of the transfer tape and on to my trivet. So when I'm pulling this, I pushed it on there really well. I'm gonna just pull up and see if it sticks. If I pull this up and the vinyl still comes up with it, just go back around with your scraper and push even harder. So the best way to pull this off, oh wait, see, I've got a little bit sticking up there. You can be kind of rough with this. Okay, so the best way to do this is to kind of pull straight back. And it's tough. It's really stuck on there, but you can see the vinyl is sticking beautifully. This is permanent vinyl. It's not going anywhere. All right, save that transfer tape. You can reuse this stuff, but look at this. It's coming together, and you see how we mirrored it on the back so that when you look through the front, you can see 'tis the season to be thankful. And I'm gonna grab these holographic little leaves that we made, use that same piece of transfer tape, and repeat the process. Okay, last step, we're gonna replace this little foot. Goes right over there. And that's it. How beautiful is that for your Thanksgiving table? Or to gift to a hostess or to send in a care package to someone. Now let's make those leftover containers. All right, we've got a very similar process here. The only difference is this vinyl is not mirrored because we are putting it on the outside of the container. So once again, we're gonna weed this, use that transfer tape, and place it right onto the container. So now we're ready to apply it to the container. I'm gonna take the top off, and these are just plastic containers, so they're a little more pliable than the glass trivet we used. So we're gonna have to add a little bit more pressure and just be careful that we don't crack anything. We're going to center it and line it up and push it on. It's always helpful to do like a light press first so you know it's where you want it, and then push it on really firmly. Okay, so if I stick my hand on the inside here, I think I'm gonna be able to get a nice good stick. And there we go. So you can make a whole bunch of these and send your guests home with cute little leftovers in containers that they can reuse. So we used our Cricut today to embellish some inexpensive dollar store blanks. I showed you how to mirror vinyl and attach it to the back of a trivet so that this part can still be used. We also just took some vinyl and easily transferred it over to these dollar store containers so that you can send your guests home with leftovers. Another really great thing to do, if you cannot see your friends and family this Thanksgiving, why not send them a little care package? Send them a trivet and fill up one of these containers with one of your family favorites. These are some of our favorite pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. And you can just add them to the container, pack them up really safely, and pop them in the mail or drop them off on the porch of your neighbor or friend or family that you cannot be with in person this year. Cricut can help you do that in a really fun and classy way. This was a simple beginner Cricut project. So if you have a Cricut, give this a try and decorate your table for Thanksgiving. If you're thinking about one, links to all the products we used today are down below. So you can go down there, browse around, and get yourself a Cricut for the holidays and start crafting. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you have any questions, or if you like Cricut tutorials, let me know what you want to see next. I'd love to share more of everything that Cricut can do for you. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing so you don't miss my next video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.